Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
So, guys, we do want to ask again, as always, double check, make sure you're subscribed. And you know what? Just show up every day. Just stop by Evolutionary Energy Arts and also stop by EEARTS. And pretty much every single day, we're going to have at least one video on one of the two channels. And we try to always get a video on both. Every now and then we miss. Sometimes we'll have two on one and none on the other. It all depends on what's happening out there in this crazy world.
Yes, it's like ebb and flow with what you can.
Ebb and flow with what you can. I love that saying. That's going to be the saying for the next, 3 years, 5 years, till 2030.
I think it's going to be this saying definitely for the next little while, is learning how to ebb and flow with the changes and all the dirty tricks controllers play.
Yes, and we're going to be talking about the baby formula crisis. U.S. plunged into dangerous formula crisis as babies now are being hospitalized for malnutrition. This is so sad. This is just so sad. And so there's two infants over here in Memphis, Tennessee, both suffering from the effects of dehydration. This one pediatric specialist explained he's never seen a crisis like this before. He then went on to explain that doctors can only help with short-term solutions to the lack of nutrients infants were suffering from due to the shortages. And so they were actually recommending IV drips for some babies. You see here, Biden finally acts. First baby formula Mercy flight is loaded with 31 tons in Germany. Thank you. As infants are admitted to hospitals in U.S. due to shortages, and pediatrician says the crisis is worsening. You just look at this. Operation Fly formula will see the formula sufficient to make 1.8 million 8-ounce bottles being flown over from Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany to Indiana before being distributed nationwide. Sick babies are being hospitalized after drinking from different formulas because their parents could not find their brands amid nationwide shortage. At least 4 babies admitted to Medical University of South Carolina and 2 at Le Bonheur Children's Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. Dr. Mark Corkin of Le Bonheur described it as a crisis, and the hospitals could only provide short-term solutions. Many babies rely on a single brand of formula due to allergies or restrictions on what they can consume, leaving parents in distress. This is it really is horrible. It's part of the whole system that we have in place. And this just-in-time system, which is really what most of these stores operate on. If you think of the days, well, let me go check in the back, see what I got. When you go in the back, there's usually hardly anything there. It's just the way the system is.
Yeah, and they've been doing this deliberately for many, many years, getting parents all over the place used to this, okay, go to the store, just grab what I need. And, that's how they depend on things. And having raised my own children and understanding the importance of formula because I was sick, I couldn't breastfeed, and I needed something, I needed help. Yes, having to change your formulas mid stride is it can be devastating because moms are going to be up all night, babies are going to be colicky, everybody's going to be miserable, and this is just one of those things that they do. These controllers do. They have no mercy. There is no reason for this at all. So we wanted to come on here with some information and ideas anyway, not as professionals. We're not doctors. We can't claim any of that. But as we've been parents and we've been through situations, and these are some things that we might try, and we'll talk about that shortly.
Absolutely. So here you have a BBC report quoted Dr. Steve Abrams, who's warned against using homemade baby formulas. He's the former chair of the American Academy of Pediatrics Committee on Nutrition. The standard by which we develop infant formula is breast milk. Oh man, I'm kind of getting burned up inside because I know this stuff that's in so much of these formulas, and it's definitely not up to Mother Nature's standards. And that's the truth. We could do a lot better than what is provided for us by these big companies, is the bottom line. And yet that's what doctors rely on. But there's a reason for that, and we're going to take a look to that as well. And by the way, we went to make this video, and we had all sorts of problems. It wouldn't do searches. It wasn't. The internet all of a sudden decided to have all sorts of issues. And so we had to sage and, clear the air, so to speak, reboot, and then finally get it to work. There is definitely a dark energy that is upon this globe that hates everything that's about the mother, from the mother aspect of deity, which some people are so indoctrinated that they don't think there could be a mother aspect of deity. And when we're talking about that, we mean, source, God with the big G, the divine feminine. And, the indoctrination in this world is one to serve the purpose of this world, which is all about using humanity like a slave race, bottom line. Humanity's viewed as just a resource. And at times it needs to be, well, just like any other flock, you know what happens to flocks. And that is sad, and that's obviously what nobody that's part of the flock wants to happen. We got to get this flock out of here and get to a better place and get rid of this system. The system is full of, it's not even ignorance. You wish you could say it's ignorance, but it's not. It's worse than that. So anyway, to finish this, he said, the standard that we develop infant formula is breast milk. We've come to understand breast milk better and better. If they're not breastfeeding, then they got to make sure they have all the nutrients. Yes, absolutely. So you got to look at your macronutrients. There's only really 3 there. You have fats, carbs, and proteins. And again, there's essential proteins, essential amino acids, and there's essential fatty acids. There's not really any essential carbs, so to speak. So really, when you're developing, you most definitely need that protein, and you need those healthy fats. There's a lot more that you need too, though. You need your micronutrients, which you can get. You can put things together for yourself. You could piecemeal it, which is what people are going to have to do. Again, mama's milk is what nature intended. So it's really the best thing when that is available.
Right. And with the way they have set up society, having women feeling ostracized when they go out in public and they need to feed their babies, not to mention all of the hormone disruptors there are. So when it does come time to have baby, your milk can't come in because you're overloaded with toxins. I mean, this is how they synthetically have really torn the mother energy away from us.
Absolutely. And this is another one talking about kids in Wisconsin, babies showing up at hospitals because they don't have, they're malnourished. They're not getting the right nutrition. And so people are just, maybe just putting cow's milk in a bottle and leaving it at that. When we look at this is Infamil. And of course, so many doctors have recommended this. Oh, I would get Infamil. Yeah, that's doctors, right? And that's other pediatricians, maybe nurses, other people as well. Just because it's a big brand, it's a big name, and so many people are like, I've heard of that, so I'll trust it. But then when you look at the ingredients, what's the first ingredient? Corn syrup solids, 54%? What? That's just crap. And there's no other way to put that. Vegetable oils after that. It's just horrible what's being done on a nutritional level by these big corporations, Mead and Johnson. And the same thing happens in the on the opposite end of the spectrum, as I've been a manager of retirement communities, quote unquote old folks homes, and really had some of the best years of my life helping people in their last days. Have fun and be comfortable and reminisce and kind of prepare for the other side. I give so many kudos to people that work in hospice. It's just, it takes an exceptional, amazing person to do that and to maintain that, to be able to face it. The end of life process can be very disconcerting and tough to witness at times, depending on how one goes. And to remain open-hearted, warm, loving, caring, and supportive without being affected in a negative way. Hospice people are on the whole just amazing people. But part of the whole problem that we see going on here is truly a lack of education. It really, really is. Just not understanding. So when we were talking about, and Cindy was, saying, because the guys were telling us, make sure you say that you are not doctors, we're not nutritionists. Now I have a very, very different feeling. Like if we're talking about a doctor, an MD's recommendation on nutrition for your baby, and then say a nutritionist's recommendation, that's very different. Very, very different. Me personally, I'll always lean towards going with a naturopathic doctor, because naturopaths tend to look at things in a holistic manner. They look at the whole, and they understand the benefit that comes from all the extra things that Mother Nature puts in there and all the extra things that she leaves out. That, all we got to do is go back to that label and see stuff like corn syrup solids, high fructose corn syrup. This is like prepping and getting the body ready to develop diabetes down the line. Mm-hmm. It's not good. It's not good at all. But here's what's really going. As you see, this survey from 2012-2013 academic year included 121 medical schools with an average of 19 hours of nutritional education in their curriculum. The survey showed that just 71% of medical students failed to meet the minimum recommendation of 25 hours. 36 provided 12 or fewer hours, and 9% provided none. That's disgusting and a complete travesty and a joke. No wonder. They don't even get a full week's worth of nutritional study. Talk about a joke. And then you're going to rely on them? Where are they putting their priorities is what we should ask. So, do you trust somebody that's got 25 hours and maybe less of studying nutrition with your baby's life?
Right. And how much has actually been tested? Have they ever even used it or tried it? And we have these formulas, and when we look at the ingredients, as a parent, I did my best when I had to use formula. I thought I did my homework, but I know some amazing moms out there now who know a whole lot more now than I knew back then. But I'm looking at this and I feel bad as a parent because I just didn't know any better. So hopefully in many ways, this is going to bring information out into the open for those who were not in the know. Because I think if this were to happen when we were raising our little ones, I would have looked closer at the ingredients because I had to. Now you have to make your own. So in that sense, I find it good.
And, I've had discussions when different family members have been ill with doctors. And when we go down that nutritional route, it's really apparent that they're not well read. They're not well studied. I mean, they could tell you all sorts of stuff when it comes to certain prescriptions. Sure. But when it comes to nutrition, no. There's usually, there are always exceptions. There are always doctors that are more integrative, for instance, and will look at people in a more holistic way. It's not all MDs, but they're under a lot of pressure too, and they have to see so many people in a certain time frame too. It's one of the things. You ever wonder, why does it seem like the doctor's always so rushed? Well, it's because they have quotas. They have quotas for many different things, those prescriptions as well as seeing certain amounts of people. Now, if you could only give 10 minutes to actually have a conversation with somebody and then make a life-changing, perhaps, life-giving, life-taking decision, that's not good. And as I've shared with you guys, when I did get Lyme's disease and I was working in management in a pharmaceutical company, I didn't go that route. And that's actually what got me to nudge away from it, because I went and found a naturopath, and she booked 2 hours of time for our first session because she wanted to know what's going on in your life. That was one of the first things. What's going on in your life? Any major changes?
Right.
Because emotions cause disease.
Well, and they really, really do. And many of us, it's very, very difficult to go out and find a naturopath like that because the insurance absolutely will not cover it. But the emotions part of things, that's something in life that we can get information on. So talking to your friends and your families about your stresses, that is critical. Don't shut yourself down. If you're having emotional issues, that needs to be released. Find out good information on that. Reach out to your friends, because that's where it starts, is our emotions.
Absolutely. So what I would recommend, again, you look at the list. This is a good start. Number one ingredient is whey protein concentrate from cow's milk, right? And you can see then we go into the vegetable oils: palm, olein, soy, coconut. Now, me personally, there's a very short list of vegetable oils that we use. And for high heat, we use coconut. But I'll cook with some, what do you want to call it? Sesame for that oriental flavor. Most of what we use is really olive oil and coconut oil. You could use avocado oil as well. That's a good healthy one too. But you want to avoid, when I see people picking up these big, just generic, oh my God, Crisco, don't even go there. Generic vegetable oils. It just kills me, because, all these things are so detrimental to our health. So detrimental to our health. Just if you want to get a guideline, break it down. Look at the nutrition facts per 100 calories. This will give you a basic idea. Here's your macros, your protein, your fat, your carbs. And then it gets into the minerals here as well. And then there's ways to piece these things together. And here you go, Infamil, made with GMO ingredients. See, we weren't going down that route. Yeah, we didn't go down that route yet. But yes, all these things that they're perfectly fine with, they're genetically modified. I don't want a GMO baby or a grandchild at this stage in life. Mm-hmm. Maybe someday great-grandchild, who knows? I don't want them genetically modified in more ways than one. And again, cows treated with hormones, cows given steroids, cows given antibiotics. And if you consume it, you're taking all those things in. You're taking the hormones, you're taking the antibiotics, you're taking the steroids. You're increasing your chances of cancer and many other health issues as well. And this one says, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it true the FDA won't allow us to import European baby formula because it's unsafe? Meanwhile, it doesn't have poisonous corn syrups and vegetable oils like our healthy American baby slop does? Yeah, this is where you start to know how things really lie. And again, I don't drink cow milk. The thought of it actually kind of grosses me out, but Cindy still likes her cow milk. So I get her grass-fed, organic, non-GMO, where it says right on it, again, no steroids, no hormones, none of that. And Rosemary, our naturopath from Australia that we love and adore, that's helped us so many times, and we've probably done at least 3, maybe 4 or 5 different interviews with her over the years. She would personally, if it was her child or grandchild, she would give them goat's milk because it's easier on the stomach for one. And you see here it contains more potassium than cow's milk as well. And again, you want to look for things, make sure there's nothing artificial in there. Make sure it's non-GMO and organic. I got about 35 or 40 pounds of whey protein I bought in bulk at the end of last year and the beginning of this year because I knew protein's going to go through the roof. And so to cover your basic bodily needs, and now we're not really necessarily talking about kids, but you can see whey protein was one of the main ingredients when you're looking at the baby formulas. And it's interesting because whey at one time was just a byproduct. Again, what can we do with this? But, whey protein breaks down and is so easily assimilated by the body. And many bodybuilders and athletes use whey protein. And so, like this right here, this is one of the brands I've gotten before. Again, 100% grass-fed. You just want to make sure no hormones, no GMO, no added sugar, none of that stuff. Man, they went through the roof. When I bought them, they were 5-pounders. They cost $59 each. And again, I got like 6 or 7 of them. Now, one brand I bought was $95. The other one was like $75. So it has gone through the roof. And this is another brand, again, grass-fed, non-GMO, organic. It's one of the primary ingredients that they use, and you could, go from there. You want to cover all the bases. There's some links here. I'll give all the links so you could see. There's a lot of keys to nutrition when babies are developing. Usually they're given formula for the first 6 months, and then you start to bring in good, healthy, mushed up veggies and things like that. And the babies get that mustard poop. Oh, gosh, I remember those diapers. Yes. Calcium, obviously. Fat is so key in brain development, nerve development, skin and hair, and also protects against infections. Fat back in the 70s and 80s was given a really bum rap. Really. Everything, non-fat. And when you look to some of these ingredients, that I got to say why. There you go. Non-fat milk. Why? Why non-fat milk? Fat's not bad. Fat helps, again, with nerve development and all these other things. We all need to work on our education when it comes to our health. We need to be more proactive, and instead of being reactive when, things are falling apart like they are right now with the formula.
Yeah, this is something really serious, and I do want to stay on the positive end of things and say, let's focus on all of the awakening that's going to happen. So many people who just went along with what was provided for them by the mainstream are now waking up, opening up, and saying, hey, wow, I never had to look this closely before. What's going on here? So maybe I should change my ways because this doesn't look so good. So I do want to stay positive and keep pointing that out. And you guys, if you are listening to this show, I know you're open to talking to other people about this, and, just make yourself kind of available somehow in a very nice way to the other moms that might not have a deeper understanding of what you know about what's in these formulas. But sure, now's a good time for us to put our best foot forward and say, hey, there's another way to do things. Let's try it.
Absolutely. So, other things, iron is key. Building blood cells helps the brain develop. Again, iron supplementation. Again, you want to be precise with that as well. Folate helps cells divide. All the vitamins. In zinc is very important as well. All your basic vitamins. And also probiotics are very good. Essential fatty acids. So this will give you an idea on what you really got to make sure that your little one is getting. And again, do more research yourself. This is one item that was recommended, and there is here. This is from Red Mountain Natural Medicine, making your own healthy baby formula. And so the products that are recommended right in that are right here, along with they're recommending either coconut milk, rice milk, or almond milk. So they're looking at more from a vegetarian standpoint. Again, everybody's got to make their own decisions, and that's just a blessing to be able to say that still a little bit before all that washes away, and they're going to be giving us the Soylent Green that's made of just loaded with everything that we shouldn't have, and including ourselves. Yes. So this is Ultraflora Balance, and this is Omega Genetics. And so right here are some ideas. Again, I just wanted to get this out there so you guys could look. And this is organic baby formula from Europe, if they allow us to. Again, this crazy lockdown world. And this is the Royal Children's Hospital of Melbourne telling you all about babies and toddlers, nutrition, and too much milk can cause issues. So again, that's why Rosemary was recommending goat milk if you can't breastfeed. But again, breastfeeding is always the best way to go. Always the best way to go. So I'll have all these links for you guys. And again, things change as the baby gets older. But, learn a little bit about nutrition. And it's not hard nowadays while we still have everything available to us. And then you'll start to recognize that there's more stuff that's listed in many of these formulas that you really would wish that it wasn't there. And again, that comes back to the education of the MDs. They're not nutritionists, not even close. Nutritionists really, you have to go through extensive schooling. And I believe 6 years is really what it takes. So yes, obviously, you would take recommendations from a nutritionist in a much higher light than from an MD that, maybe his school had less than 19 hours of nutrition. That's nothing. For anybody that's taken classes and gone to school, 19 hours is nothing.
Mm-hmm. And if it were me, one thing I learned with little babies is their tummies are so sensitive. So whatever you do, try it very lightly. New moms, check with your moms, check with grandmas. Now is the time to really bring that mother energy in and have all of those things that we can do to help each other at home and help us get a good night's sleep and a healthy baby. And very, very gentle. Go very gentle on the tummies if we're having to change over, because that can be a really, really big deal. So be very careful there.
Absolutely. So as always, guys, we want to thank you for your support on Patreon and Ko-Fi. We couldn't do it without you there. Check out Medicinal Foods. Lots of good stuff to boost your immune system, to detox, and cover all your nutrient needs. And, maybe there's a little naughtiness that's not so bad down there as well. Use coupon code EEA, get a discount, does support the channel, and learn more about us over at evolutionaryenergyarts.com. Much love, God bless, and namaste.
Namaste.